This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
It is Thursday, 4th July 2024. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. This is news to 6 a.m. on News Power Digital. The Strategic Services Agency, SSA, was compromised with the establishment of a militarized operational unit and was infiltrated by a religious cult that wanted to replace the country's political leadership. The Prime Minister did not call names yesterday, but said the audit found disturbing practices of nepotism and opportunism, adding that several family members and associates of particular persons and of a particular church were found to have been surreptitiously employed in the SSA. Dr. Rowley outlined, quote, such persons belong to a cult which was alarming itself while preaching a doctrine for trained military and paramilitary personnel with a religious calling to the most suitable to replace the country's political leadership. He also said they were not polygraphed and were exerting high levels of influence on the affairs of the agency to the detriment of national security in the country. The Prime Minister said the instances of dishonesty and deception had also been discovered. Dr. Rowley delivered a statement on the SSA in the Parliament yesterday. He did not outright declare that there was any coup plot, but shared what he described as shocking information emanating from an audit into the SSA, which included the agency's purchase of high-grade military bolt-action rifles, complete with the most modern silencers and other accessories, as well as an increased volume of ammunition, which is under police probe. The matter is being investigated by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. The findings are based on the results of an initial audit into the operations of the SSA. Dr. Rowley said, notwithstanding the audit, the core business of the SSA remained uninterrupted. He made the disclosure in the House of Representatives yesterday. To help address Trinidad and Tobago's foreign exchange challenges, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said government's decision to go to the international market, which raised US $750 million. It was done via a virtual roadshow. The Ministry of Finance coordinated the event. Dr. Rowley said the country has a deficit budget. This was the reason for deciding to borrow more at this time. The government's offer of temporary accommodation for children from Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines affected by the passage of Hurricane Beryl depends on the agreement of relatives in Trinidad and Tobago to accommodate them. This revealed there are no special policies regarding the offer, but the Ministry of National Security has advised to accommodate these requests when they are made known. This clarified by the Prime Minister yesterday in Parliament. 2 vessels have already been dispatched to deliver much-needed relief to Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which were severely affected by Hurricane Beryl. This revealed by the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturing Association. The TTMA, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, the Energy Chamber, and TT Chamber and AmCham responded swiftly to the urgent call, and the need for relief in those territories. Hurricane Beryl battered the coast of Jamaica yesterday, bringing fierce winds and heavy rains after the powerful Category 4 storm earlier killed at least 6 persons and caused significant damage in the southeastern Caribbean. The U.S. National Hurricane Center said Beryl's eye wall was brushing the south coast of Jamaica. Wind whipped rain pounded the island for several hours as residents heeded the authorities' call to shelter until the storm passed. Power was knocked out in much of the capital, Kingston. Prime Minister Andrew Holness said nearly 500 people were placed in shelters. He said they're placing emphasis on ensuring they're comfortable and well looked after via social media post. A hurricane warning was in effect for Jamaica, Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, and Cayman Brac. Beryl was forecast to weaken slightly over the next day or two. It will pass near the Cayman Islands today into Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula tomorrow, according to the U.S. National Hurricane Center. Jamaica was under a state of emergency as the island was declared a disaster zone hours before the impact of the hurricane. Polls are now open in the UK as they face a general election today, with voters electing their local MPs and choosing the UK's next government. Polling stations will close at 2200 hours. It will be followed by an exit poll suggested that the projected seats for the top 5 parties contesting the election. Pundits have projected the Labour Party to convincingly win the election ahead of the Conservative Party, led by Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. And finally, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre told reporters U.S. President Joe Biden is clear-eyed and staying in the race, although she's admitted in the past few days have been very challenging amid fallout from his debate performance. A new poll by CBS News on Wednesday found the election race had shifted in Trump's favor following the debate earlier this week, including in crucial battleground states. And that's news to the hour right here on News Power Digital. We'll have major news coming your way at 7 a.m. Good morning.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
Of July. Thank you so much for joining us on Power 102 Digital. It is the Power Breakfast Show. Of course, on the show this morning, apart from myself, Steve Khan, we've got, you just heard from Dr. Paul Richards. We'll hear from Richard Ragoobarsingh. We got Shane and Ruben in the mix. All right. It is 26 degrees at Payarco International Airport. It is 27 degrees at our beautiful sister Isle of Tobago. And the Met Office is saying today is going to be hot and sunny at first with likelihood of afternoon showers favoring western areas. There's also low to medium, which is 30 to 40% chance of heavier shower or thunderstorm. All right. Maximum forecast temperature for today, 33, 32 at ground point. Checking traffic. I don't think I didn't check traffic. I'm now checking it out here. Yeah, I got nothing to tell you about. I've got one accident. It is on the Eastern Main Road, and it is by Mount Hope. All right, so that intersection, you've got an accident there, so that's going to create a little backup. Apart from that, we got nothing really to tell you about. Yeah. So good morning to you, Paul. What's happening?
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, everyone. Happy 4th of July to the Americans listening.
Yeah.
And happy election in the UK.
Yeah, busy day. Busy day. Yeah. So good morning to you all. Let's say good morning, good on to Ray out in West Palm Beach, Florida, watching us on YouTube. We have, let's see, happy 4th of July, USA, she says. She's in West Palm Beach, Florida. DJ Ray out in Delaware. Boy Badesi out in the Bay. God City in Valencia, good morning. Oliver Man Warren, Wendy and James. This is a new one. Deshai Bennett in Covington, Georgia. All right. David Wares, and of course, Mrs. Wares. Brent Hackshaw. Carol Guevara, Rena Boodoo Jennings, John Cato, Jennifer Moore. Good morning. Sherwin Kerr. From Arima. Good morning. Miss Ingrid in Tucson, Arizona. Patricia DeFore. Michael Robinson in Yokohama, Japan. Olivia Rose out in Tumpuna Road. Biznath Prasad. Randy Kelly. Angela Collier Lewis. Ambrose Blah. Good morning to you. Look at messages on WhatsApp. Let's see. Sankofa. Michael out in the UK. You going to vote today? Happy Thursday from, please put your name, David Nelson, which you did. Thank you so much. Dan Raj, good morning. And Captain Ron, who is apparently off on this 4th of July holiday. So good morning to you all. I tell you, Beryl.
Yeah, Beryl.
So I'm watching, I was watching it yesterday and I just put it on a while ago of some live webcams out in Jamaica. Yeah, that's the airport that they're in right there now. The airport got some serious damage. The gangways got some damage. I saw some video on that. What you're seeing on your screen is
That's the airport roof. Part of the airport roof.
That is part of the airport. Look at that wind that's blowing on top of that.
Part of the Jamaica South Coast.
Yeah, I believe Jamaica had one casualty with the passing of Beryl. Look at that. We are so lucky. Yeah, we are so lucky.
Yeah.
You know, we really have to count
yesterday.
our stars.
I think they're still under a state of emergency, if I'm not mistaken.
Jamaica, yes, they are. They are. Look at that. And look at this one. This video is entire roof is just gone. Gone.
So much work I did this morning already.
Yeah, boy. You're up early. That Hong Wing coffee really worked for you.
I was so tired. I was in bed by 5 yesterday afternoon after being in Parliament again. So I slept.
What time you went to bed? 5 after what?
5 in the afternoon. I was just so exhausted.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I could well imagine. You need to get that rest.
This is part of Union Island, I think, St. Vincent.
Yeah. You know, what goes through your mind? You know, one day you're good, you have your roof over your head, and bam, the next day,
This is Dominican Republic.
Yeah. Look at that.
You know, this is Mandeville, Jamaica.
Oh, I didn't see this one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mandeville, Jamaica. Heavy rain, high winds, roofs blown off, trees flooded out. In some instances, electricity poles down. Most of it was without power for some time. Yesterday evening, I think they've started to restore power to some areas in Kingston, the capital of Jamaica. Past Jamaica, but of course, it's now time to go and assess and see what strategies are put in place for cleanup operations. So it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. The sad part about it, Paul and folks, is that this is just the start of the hurricane season.
Yeah.
This Beryl broke a record being at that strength at this time of the year. We usually get that in August, September. And we got it in June.
Yeah.
You know, so it will be like building Lego. You know, you build it back up and hopefully nothing will come again, but you never know. And it will go. Look at that. Hear that sound.
There's a video that shows some Jamaicans, although it was a state of emergency, in the street whining and jamming.
Yeah.
I didn't want to show it because it was just so.
Brain cells not there, boy.
It was in the street jamming and whining on each other in the middle of the hurricane. I was just saying, well, when we think it's us alone.
Yeah, it's horrible. I'm watching a live picture of I have actually a couple. Let me see with the other one. I'm watching a live. It's on YouTube. It's now after 5:13 in Jamaica, and I was watching this yesterday, a flat bridge in Jamaica, and really it is a flat bridge just above the waterline in the river, and right now it is completely blocked with debris.
Water
just But I remember watching it yesterday. It was clear, cars were passing, and now it's a mountain of debris that got caught in the bridge, and it's unbelievable.
We are very lucky in this country. We're very blessed in this country.
Yeah,
very, very, very blessed.
You know, and yesterday I spoke to Dr. Ralph Gonzalez briefly. And he said, Steve, we really have to get food to these people. I'm sitting down here with some people, and we have to get food to these people.
Well, Trinidad and Tobago has sent.
Yeah, I told him that.
Stuff already. I think he knew it was coming.
Yeah. I think the government of Trinidad and Tobago, and kudos to them, acted quickly. I think they're sending across a ferry or 2 ferries to help with goods as well. I know the private entities are also gathering some stuff. I know Venus Dogs out in Tobago, going to Elspeth, organizing to get pet food across to the islands as well. And, you know, as I said, Pet, I saw a video on ABC this morning where there was this huge chunk of debris floating down the river. And on top of that, there were 4 dogs standing, and they're just moving with the debris in the river. I said, oh, I can't watch that. I can't.
Well, I saw a video of surfers in Toco in Trinidad when the hurricane was passing close
Passing north of us, yeah.
and they seemingly run out into the sea to get the big waves, which is like crazy to me, but it seems like a normal thing for surfers to rush to the
I can
East
hear what you
Coast,
say.
in off Grand River and off Toco
And Libya.
and Celebia and jump into the water to get the big waves. I don't know. I don't know, but I guess
When
the
you have
young,
a rough,
the young
when you
and
have a
the,
rough sea, bulletin is grab your surfboard and move one time.
yeah, the young and the young and the
The
thrill
brave,
seeking.
I'll call it.
Startling revelations yesterday from the Prime Minister in the House of Representatives.
Yeah. I heard that.
The SSA, he said,
Mm-hmm.
compromised, he said, quote, disturbing practices of nepotism and opportunism with several family members and associates of a particular person and of a particular church were found to have been surreptitiously employed. He said the establishment for a militarized operation was infiltrated by a religious cult
He calls it a cult.
that wanted to replace the country's political leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that they were planning a coup? He said he didn't call it a coup, but that's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah.
He said they belonged to a cult which was arming itself while preaching a doctrine for trained military and paramilitary personnel with a religious calling to be the most suitable to replace the country's political leadership. Well, when we spoke to Pastor Brown, remember he told us that people of the church were honest and more suitable to lead. He told us that.
Mm-hmm.
He did tell us that. I feel let's look at our show and take evidence from our show, you know. No, I'm serious.
No,
Pastor Brown told us that, you know, when we asked him, you know, are these people vetted and stuff? He said, well, they're people of God, and because of that, they have a better propensity for leadership and for the purposes in the agency.
Yeah. He also said that an audit and a police probe also revealed that the use or whereabouts of 70,000 rounds of ammunition purchased by the SSA remains unrecorded and unaccounted for.
Well, the disturbing part to me was, let me find the part of the ammunition. 9mm ammunition purchased between 2017 and 2022. 2017, 8,000 rounds. 2018, 7,500 rounds. 2019, none. 2020, 16,000 rounds. 2021, 52,000 rounds. And 2021, 52,000 rounds. And 2022, 100,000 rounds of ammunition. He asked the question, the Prime Minister in his statement, is why would an intelligence gathering agency need 103 firearms of different types and calibers? And why would the agency in 2022 need 100,000 rounds of ammunition?
He said that there was never a budget in the SSA to purchase military grade weapons.
He said they still don't know where 70,000 rounds of ammunition. He said prior to legal notice of November 2023, authorization, the National Security Council of the government was not, or the government was not aware that the SSA possessed those levels of arms and ammunition, and that the SSA was actively engaged in extensive weapons training, procuring, and consuming large volumes of ammunition. He said there was never a budget, she said. Oh, child, Papa.
Well said.
Tell you. It's very, very, very disturbing. I was trying to remember Major Best. You know? He also spoke to the issue of FULs, of course.
Mm-hmm.
He said 7,000 licenses issued in between 2018 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there have been some real-time responses online, as one would expect. Interesting. Very interesting developments. But that SSA thing is very, very disturbing. The Prime Minister said that the SSA operations, let me repeat, I don't want to, right. Notwithstanding the audit, the core business of the SSA remained uninterrupted. Is this while the audit was going on, or is this before? Because if all in that statement was true and happening, was the SSA still carrying out its legal functions? Question mark.
Question mark.
And I am almost sure there's some things that would have come out of that audit that the Prime Minister would not divulge.
Yeah.
For national security.
That we not know about. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Never a dumb moment. Open the phone lines. Let's hear what you think.
You really got some rest.
Yeah, I slept a lot.
I need that. I
got up at 3 o'clock this morning and I went and walked before. Because I was so...
you got your rest.
I had to sleep, of course. And I'm going back today. Beryl, who does the SSA answer to? The SSA is a special agency under the Ministry of National Security.
Mm-hmm. And then, I don't. So let's take some of your calls. 222-8255, toll-free North Americans. 866-525-1099. You can send me a message on WhatsApp and, of course, on our YouTube stream as well. Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
There are things that are shocking and disturbing about what the Prime Minister said, but also there are things that weren't so unusual. 105 assaulted rounds, assaulted weapons is not an unusual, it's not an extremely large amount for elite units, right? Most elite units, everybody has a primary and a secondary weapon. That is 2 weapons per person. So that means 100. That means 50 people are armed in the unit. That is not an unusual amount of people for elite units, right? So I would eliminate that.
Should we have been told what the trend in weapon purchases was years before to make a comparison?
Well, I guess that would have made the civilian understand, but the Prime Minister don't want you to understand. He wants you to be biased against Gary Griffith, right? 100,000 rounds of ammunition. When we went to the range, a platoon of people, 30 people go to the range, we burn up 10,000 rounds of ammunition in no time. So elite units train much more frequently than
okay, I hear that. So then why had there been a significant increase between 2017 to 2022 if it's the same operations and as they had increased staff significantly?
I can't speak to that, Paul. I'm just
saying, exactly. If you're making a statement, you need to justify going from 8,000 in 2017 to 7,500 in 2018.
Maybe the unit, I don't know, maybe the unit got bigger. Maybe they started to do more.
To almost 10, to more than 10 times the amount between 2017 to 2022. That's a significant increase.
But I know they could have justifiable reasons for that, but I know they're going to call Gary Griffith this morning and then he's going to get
No, we're not going to call him this morning. We call him tomorrow morning. We call him. Tomorrow morning we'll call him.
But this is definitely alarming. So this 70,000 rounds of ammunition, and the Prime Minister alluded to a very good question. Where is the illegal guns getting their ammunition from? And we have to synergy the two and ask the question if that is where they're getting it from, right? As you rightly said, Paul, a lot of things may not have been disclosed in that forum. right? But I see already circulating Gary Griffin has responded in text. So I wait to hear a response from him.
Yeah, we'll talk with him tomorrow. Thank you. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, New York. Happy 4th of July to you.
Thank you, Senator Paul. I wish you were here. You would have been getting some well-deserved rest on holiday today. You know, gentlemen, on a serious note, we as Caribbean, and I mean, with the situation, elections coming in November, I think we should appeal to our families to get out the vote, to go out there and vote, because it's not going to be easy if the unexpected results happen. So I really think, we as Caribbean, people living in Trinidad should appeal to the people here, all Caribbean people, appeal to the people here in New York, wherever they are, to get out the vote and go out and vote. Have a good day, gentlemen. God bless. Because
you be safe.
Here's business if the unexpected happens. Take care. Have a good day.
All right, New York. Have a great one.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Richard.
Good morning to our listeners and viewers, wherever you are. Interestingly enough, I was asking my sister about that, and I said to her, she knows here's the furor going around about Joe Biden and the debate, but she didn't watch the debate. She said, look, Richard, after all is said and done, Biden could have said nothing on that stage. Between him and Donald Trump, there is only one choice. And I don't care what Biden said or didn't say, there is only one choice.
Well, I'm sure over 100 million Americans will think differently.
Yeah.
Because Trump could do whatever he wants, and the people who support Trump will support Trump no matter what he says or doesn't say or do or doesn't do.
Mm-hmm.
There is only one choice.
For them.
Yeah. And
so either way, people are polarized, and we will see what happens later this year.
Yeah.
Biden said he's not dropping out, although he had a rough week.
Yeah, but of course people are polarized. People have been polarized since Trump was in power. So I mean, yeah, but as the state, but there's a lot of polarization. It's almost like the entire world gets polarized in situations of politics. There's so much polarization in so many countries across the planet. And of course, Trinidad and Tobago being one, where you have that, binary choice. But look at France, where the right-wing party under Penn has made such startling inroads in the parliamentary elections that now other people are saying, okay, we will drop off to stop them.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have that kind of polarization, it seems, happening in so many countries.
Well, I think populations are much more educated and demanding more from leadership in all jurisdictions.
It's not just that, Paul. It's an over-ending of what has been in place in terms of societal norms that a privileged class has now felt, look, I'm going to fight back this. So it's much more contextual in a lot of those countries, and especially countries like France, where you have so many Africans, because France was one of, if not the largest colonizer in Africa. And so you have so many Africans now living who are French, for all intents and purposes, that has upended what France would have been 200 years ago.
But all countries are evolving.
So
your camera just dived down just and cut off half of your face. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. But that's basically it.
Well, just change. The winds of change all over the place. I just think electorates take less and demand more, and they're less easy to satisfy and or fool now. All over the world. The humans have always been polarized in one way or the other, because humans are generally find ways to divide themselves one way or the other. The lines are open. Just before you came on, we were talking about the statement of the Prime Minister yesterday on the SSA business.
Mm-hmm. Right, we have a call here. Morning, caller.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
I had to switch. I couldn't hear what Oli was saying for a while until I get through with this call because I lose my internet and stuff. So what I was wanted to say, I called a call a while ago, and he said that after the Prime Minister read his report, the Prime Minister wanted to blame Gary Griffith, but then Mr. Richard asked about how we had such an increase in ammunition. And he said he don't know. And he said maybe. So I'm trying to put the two together as to how he would have been, because he said it with certainty that the Prime Minister wanted to believe Gary Griffith, but to blame Gary Griffith. But when he speaks about the increase in the under his watch, he said maybe, and he can't answer. I find that
Well, the increase under his watch, I was referring to the SSA, not to Mr. Griffith's tenure. Right, the increase is related specifically to the SSA ammunition purchases. Just to be clear.
Yeah. Good morning.
Yes, morning.
Morning.
Well, it says
Good morning, Mr. Patrick.
Good morning.
Yeah, morning, Mr. Patrick.
You could recall when we were saying about ammunition found on sites and things when they were shooting down people and killing them? Whatever ever hit squad in the SSA,
I presume you're asking a question.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
All them ammunition, and you remember when they was asking the head of the security, the army and them places, they say all ammunition was counted for? Yes, we were seeing ammunition with mark with army and Coast Guard and them.
I was trying to remember. I know Mr. Best was terminated. Major Best was terminated. Was he charged with anything?
No.
No, I don't believe so, you know.
We always have to look at church organizations now. Because at the end of the day, is that church organization was being infiltrated by military personnel.
Or vice versa.
Oh, the SSA was infiltrated by church people.
This is the implication according to the Prime Minister's statement.
But that's serious identity on some the security service of your country. That's a serious offense going on there.
My question is how all that happened and nobody in Ministry of National Security knew anything.
Who was watching? Who was guarding the guards?
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously somebody was watching because it came to fruition. Mm-hmm. But from the time the Prime Minister made that comment months ago when that press release came out about that SSA issue, and he said it was an issue of national security.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
yeah, you knew it was something. You knew it was something serious.
A ship come to Tobago and nobody knows it come to Tobago and gone.
But my information is that this whole SSA thing investigation was triggered because there were surveillance apparatus initiated against two high-ranking cabinet members there, and that's what shook the establishment and started an investigation.
So, Mr. Apologize, is that too much secret thing going on in Trinidad? Look at a big ship come to Tobago. Lego ones that are oil and the tug and the ship disappear, and nobody knows where it comes from. Something wrong here, boy. Something wrong.
A lot of things wrong.
Who got in the yard?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, Mr. Patrick, have a good day.
All the best to you. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Zena.
Mi amor.
Buenos días.
Muy bien.
Muy bien. ¿Y tú?
If all the can't talk Spanish, like this is a Spanish class, I cannot take it.
Or you stick to you and stay in your corner.
Hola,
you want to talk with yours.
Ricardo, hola,
Like
hola.
Dora the Explorer, you know, it's like like Dora explaining, you know, adios means goodbye.
Here now, when you listen, give me a break, eh? It's one. Right. You stay in your corner for when Mrs. R call.
Good morning, Mrs. R.
Good morning, girl, and CJ and all those who locked on.
Yeah, good morning, CJ.
But
And happy 4th of July to, of course, our American listeners.
Well, I wanted to say that myself. Happy holiday. And as you all were talking about the polarization, what you think? What you thought about the inclusion of what I saw the other night in the BET Awards? I really like that stunt.
What? What's that?
You didn't watch the BET Awards?
No, I didn't. For what?
Oh, where Taraji, there was a time when she appeared like she was in a dressing room in her bedroom, and she called the VP of America, and she answered, and then they had a discussion, you know, about certain things and about the election, and then Taraji put out a strong call for people to go out and vote. You know, it was a real.
Well, it is the BET Awards, the Black Entertainment Television Awards.
Yes.
So
It was a good, nice stunt.
it's highly democratic leaning.
Yes. Oh yes.
Particularly black women, Black American women are particularly they're one of the bedrocks of the Democratic Party.
I realized that. Yeah, so it was very interesting. I laughed at it. I said, what an electioneering gimmick here.
Well, high stakes.
Anyhow, it was good. Yeah,
right.
so you know what I want to say, Mr. Patrick? When you say church, yeah, we have to put some of them in inverted commas. That would, understand, or particularly the word church, that had to go in serious inverted commas now, because like it have it in around every corner, have one, and I really don't know what some of them are about. Anyhow, morning again, I'm awaiting your poll.
You have to wait for that.
Your poll.
That's yours.
Well, I know that. I'm pushing the button now.
Which you're good at.
Well, you don't want to have an off-air conversation.
Yeah, I'm going to send Paul, I'm going to send you her number.
We don't want the off-air conversation, no.
All right, thank you.
Of course, today is also the British elections.
Yeah.
And of course, Sir Keir Starmer seems likely, according to the polls, to be the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
See how it all plays out.
After the disastrous run of the Conservatives in the last couple of years.
Yeah, so
I actually don't think Rishi Sunak will remain as leader of the opposition if and when the election goes in the favor of the Labour Party. I believe the party will have a new leader and you see a different person as leader of the opposition. I don't think Sunak is the personality type to settle for not being prime minister or to stay and do the work to rebuild the Conservatives.
Yeah.
But generally in British politics, if you lose the election, you step aside.
Yeah. But I don't think he was going to stay anyhow. He wanted a resume check off and he going back to the billionaire life.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, he ain't staying as no leader, no opposition.
Good morning.
Yeah. Paul,
Good morning.
show the last video I sent you, Paul. Good morning.
It doesn't happen
morning,
like that, Steve.
Panel. Dr. Paul, just referring to that SSA report. Is it that they were, Prime Minister saying they were acquiring exorbitant amount of arms and ammunition?
Yes, seemingly.
Right, but I'm thinking that they are accountable to the Ministry of National Security. So I'm
Yes,
seeing they
it's
must
supposed to be.
get some sort of approval to acquire arms and ammunition. I don't think SSA will go direct to the commissioner, to import arms and ammunition. So it's kind of boggling there. I don't know.
I don't know the process involved, but I guess we should get more information.
Yes, I think so. We need to, get that part clear, because any importation, they are accountable to the ministry, so the ministry has to give approval and should be aware of what.
Well, that should be the process in terms of accountability, transparency.
Right, yes. I can't see how SSA could blast this import any amount they want like that without the ministry knowing and approving. So that's kind of mind-boggling. Thanks again, and good show.
All right, have a good day.
All right, thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Alexa, volume 3. Good morning, guys. Paul, you are alluding to a very, very good question there, because I discussed it with a friend of mine last night. When we look at what Christmas was charged for, treason, and what he did, when you hear what the Prime Minister is saying happened in the SSA, and Bess hasn't been charged, or no one has ever that fact. Let me don't isolate Bess, but no one has been charged for anything, treason, sedition, misbehavior, not even a simple charge of misbehavior in public office. No one has been charged based on what the Prime Minister just divulged here. I think there's more in the mortar than the person.
And that's what's surprising to me. And I guess
Thank you.
Based on what was divulged yesterday, I mean, I don't know how, but unauthorized misbehavior in public office has to go with other charges. So you have to have specific offenses to link to misbehavior in public office. So I guess I don't know what the process is going to be moving forward. If they have a case to charge Mr. Best, if that is the case, and what the future will hold. But it's very interesting. What's that noise?
I don't know what I thought it's coming from you, but clearly it's coming from Richard. Thank you, Rich. You'll know what he's doing. A lot of videos coming out of Jamaica now.
Steve, it doesn't happen like that. You know that.
Yeah. It's a lady sitting on the roof of a house trying to hold down her galvanized. It is funny, but it's not. All right. 15 minutes before the hour of 7 o'clock. Of course, we have major news. Avi is in already. Do we have headlines, gentlemen, of our 3 dailies?
Actually, I do have papers this morning.
What?
I went down and I got the newspapers.
Wonderful.
I could start with the Newsday for today. Tuesday. You all hearing me clearly, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have some mic problems this morning. Anyway, today is Thursday, July 4th. Of course, it's a holiday in the United States because it's their Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
So happy 4th of July to all Americans listening to the program. So, of course, on the front page of the Newsday today, the main headline, SSA cult in coup plot. PM drops bombshell report on rogue operators in elite spy unit. So there is no bigger story for the front page of the Newsday. TT sends relief supplies to SVG and Grenada. And there is a picture of the supplies being loaded on to a boat. Controlling, okay. All right. On the back page of the Newsday today, CWI curator blames dry season and mismanagement. World Cup pitches weren't according to plan. And Hodge blazes century in West Indies warm-up. And the main pictures is of some cycling what is this? Britain's Mark Cavendall, some cycling taking place. I don't know if it's in France. So that's the front and back of the Newsday. Daily Express for today. What headline did they go with? Well, I guess you could think of what headline everybody went with. SSA cult takeover. PM reveals massive gun accumulation to replace country's political leadership. Beryl batters Jamaica. That's a sub-headline. And the main picture is, like the Newsday, relief for carrier coup and items being loaded. And on the back page of the Daily Express this morning, pretty good is the headline. Hodge Century highlights day one of West Indies tour opener. CWI seeks Taruba pitch answers and female bowlers need $100,000. So that's the front and the back of the Daily Express. And the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for today, the front page, PM reveals disturbing audit findings. SSA coup plot, says cult was arming itself looking to oust the government. Hurricane Beryl lashes Jamaica, and so there are some pictures of the damage. And audit, major discrepancies in issuing FULs. That's also on the front page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian today. And on the back page, Hodge warms up with a century. Record-breaking stage win is another headline. That's it, basically, for the front and the back of the three dailies this morning. So now you know. And of course, we are looking at some pictures of St. Vincent and the Grenadines post-Beryl.
And Jamaica.
That's actually video, it's not pictures. And I got a senior moment.
Sorry. Video, sorry.
Joe Biden moment.
You bad it up, Paul. You bad it.
Well, they're about the same age.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, let's see.
My question this morning comes from the statement by the Prime Minister, and my suggested question is: do you believe there was a cult attempting to take over the SSA and the political leadership of the country? Is that okay?
You're basically asking if you believe the Prime Minister then.
But some people believe and some people don't.
In a roundabout way, that's what you're asking. But yeah, go ahead.
Richard.
Steve, could you get the results report from yesterday, please?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it. Oh, here it is. Yesterday we asked, do you think the opposition is confident of maintaining a unified vote on bills in the parliament? That was our poll yesterday. And 67% said no. All right. Said no.
So,
all right. This morning,
there's our poll for this morning. Do you believe a cult was attempting to take over the SSE and the political leadership of the country? This, of course, emanates from what the Prime Minister would have said in Parliament yesterday. So do you believe a cult was attempting to take over the SSE and the political leadership of the country? That's our poll this morning. Yes or no? What do you think?
222
to the 28255. North Americans 866-525-1099. Absolutely toll free, North Americans. Of course, people on all our streaming platforms, you can send your votes via the messaging portal there. And if you're watching us on cable television, METV, or listening to us on smart devices, you can vote via WhatsApp at 868-318-1021.
All right, so we have some votes coming in already. Boy Bedesi says no. Vianney Warwood says yes. DL says yes. Angela Collier-Lewis says, hell yes. Donna Clark says yes. Anthony Miguel says yes. Someone is saying, who is this? Yeah, when you vote, put your name. Black Pearl. All right, Black Pearl. Black Pearl says yes. Morning to you, Black Pearl. Captain Ron in Orlando says yes. Michael Robinson in Japan says yes. Samuel Paul, no. Helen Prescott, yes. Julia S. Batiste, yes. Catherine Henry, yes. Nemesis, no. Carol Guevara, yes. Hector says no. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen. Before I vote, let me say belated happy birthday to Trevor from Arima for yesterday, and my vote is yes.
All right, and where are you calling us from?
London, England.
Ah, boy, London. You're going to vote? You went and vote?
I vote already.
Nice.
Labour all the way.
Nice and smooth voting process?
Very smooth.
Perfect.
Very smooth.
All right, buddy.
Okay,
Thanks for calling.
Have a blessed day. Bye.
You too, man. Let's see. John Cato says yes. Hanif Daniel says no. Evans David says no. Let's see. Lester Crigwell says no. David Ware says not at all. All right. Good morning, caller. What's your vote?
Morning again. From all what we heard, yes.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Rita Buru Jennings says yes. All right, so 222-8255, toll-free North Americans, 866-525-1099 on WhatsApp, wherever in the world you are, 868 country code 318-1021. Do you believe a cult was attempting to take over the SSA and the political leadership of the country?
That's our poll this morning. 222-TALK, 222-8255, North Americans, 866-525-1099. People on our streaming platforms, vote via sending your message. And of course, you can also WhatsApp us if you're watching us on cable or listening to us at 318-1021. That's the WhatsApp number, 318-1021. If you're outside of the country, add the 868 before it.
Jack says no. Karen Yipnow says no. Tone Luke says yes. Mrs. R says yes. Okay. All right.
So do you believe a cult was attempting to take over the SSA and the political leadership of the country?
Sexy San Fernando says yes to the poll. Morning, Sexy San Fernando. Let's see. Let's check WhatsApp. Okay. Oops. Did I do that? I did. Okay. Yeah. Do you believe a cult was attempting to take over the SSA and the political leadership of Trinidad and Tobago?
I will start putting some of these comments.
I'm wondering how much of the intelligence was driven by the Americans, that they would have had the intelligence and passed it on.
Good question.
That's a very good question. We'll never know. Cascade St. Anne says no.
If a state agency under the Ministry of National Security could import that much ammunition and additional weapons without the knowledge of the leadership of the country, what does it say about oversight?
Well said. Good morning.
Oversight.
Good morning. No.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. I'm calling to vote.
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Yes. Yes, but why do that? I'm not happy with you all this morning because nobody mentioned that PAN was being called the national instrument of Trinidad and Tobago, not even in a newscast. So I'm very disappointed about that.
You're disappointed that PAN is not the what?
There is a bill.
National instrument of Trinidad and Tobago, not even in a newscast.
Sir, there is a bill going to Parliament today to legislate PAN being the national instrument. It has always been known by convention as the national instrument. They are going to put it into law today. So I don't know what you want us to report.
Okay.
All right. Where are you calling us from?
Davide.
Davide. All right. Thank you.
Yes. My vote is yes.
Yes. Got it. Thank you. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen, and Paul Richard and Richard Ragoobarsingh Candy. I sent something called forbidden. Now, when I say the word forbidden, I know it's a poll you all haven't. But in collaboration, we have to think about what we wish for and what we pray for. So that's what some people are saying yes and some people are saying no. It had to come from us ourselves to believe what we want to believe. And Paul Richard, it's good that you could smile a little more because sometimes you look too serious into the studio. Sorry, Wendell is not wrong. And Mr. Richard Ragoobarsingh, you're great in your discussion. But I need a little help out from you guys. I know I can't talk long. TNTech, it has some bamboo weighing down the cables home here by me. This happened on Saturday, and I made several calls, even the public utilities, right? So they tell me they're checking into it, but it is a bit serious. The wire is pulling down, the bamboo is pulling down the wire. So somehow, could you all put a word for them for me, please, Mr. Khan? Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, we don't know where by me is. So
What area is this? What's
you need to Bobby, hear what to do. Send me a message exactly where it is, what the name of the street, the area, the lamppost number it's close by, and I'll forward it across.
Thank you so much.
All right.
And Paul Richard, keep smiling.
They're paying for smile here. They're paying for smile.
Yeah,
she basically tell me have a resting bee face, eh? You know that, right?
If what?
She told me I have a resting bee face in the most polite manner.
All right. CJ New York says yes. Slick Money Grip says yes. Pauline Buckmeyer says yes.
So don't be so good looking, don't need to smile, you know.
We're not looking for you today. Kathy Ann. And yes to the poll.
Everybody's like,
we have another call here as we head out towards our 7 o'clock major news. Good morning, caller.
I just want to tell that lady, is when I call is when Paula smile. Paul, the facial contortions what you did when I voted. You put yes, you have put yes already.
He not recording it. I am recording it. And yes, I put yes before you even say a word. From the time I hear hello, I say yes. I just mark it up.
All right.
Thanks, Zena.
Love is a walk, all right.
Thank you. I tell you.
Oh, you can't win now. I can't even not smile now.
Yeah.
Are you going to breathe just now? How can't breathe just now? You're breathing too much.
All right. Well, gentlemen, we got to run into our 7 o'clock major news. So let's do that right now. Evie is in.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley revealed 70,000 rounds of ammo brought by SSA unaccounted for. Government explains its decision on a U.S. $750 million bond that was raised to address foreign exchange challenges. The Prime Minister says TNT relatives of hurricane-affected children must consent to stay. And the president of the Supermarkets Association says he's stepping down. Details in a moment. This is News 2, 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. I'm Avril Sintil-Bab. Good morning. The Strategic Services Agency was compromised with the establishment of a militarized operational unit and was infiltrated by a religious cult that wanted to replace the country's political leadership. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley did not call any names yesterday, but said the audit found disturbing practices of nepotism and opportunism, adding that several family members and associates of particular persons and of a particular church were found to have been surreptitiously employed in the SSA. He outlined that such persons belonged to a cult which was arming itself while preaching a doctrine for trained military and paramilitary personnel with a religious calling to be the most suitable to replace the country's political leadership. He said many were not polygraphed and were exerting high levels of influence on the affairs of the agency to the detriment of national security. The Prime Minister said that instances of dishonesty and deep deception have also been discovered. Prime Minister Dr. Rowley delivered a statement on the SSA in Parliament yesterday. Dr. Rowley did not outright declare there was any coup plot, but he shared what he described as shocking information emanating from an audit into the SSA, which included the agency's purchase of high-grade military bolt-action rifles, complete with the most modern silencers and other accessories, as well as an increased volume of ammunition, which is under police probe. The Prime Minister said the SSA carried out the procurement of military weapons before the matter was officially approved by Cabinet. He revealed around 70,000 rounds of ammunition are still unaccounted for. The matter is being investigated by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. It was also revealed the audit discovered that a former SSA director initiated the procurement of high-grade military bolt-action rifles. The SSA was engaged in training specially selected, questionably hired personnel in the skill and use of such weapons, he said.
One aspect of the audit has so far revealed that the use and or whereabouts of 70,000 rounds of ammunition purchased by the SSA remains unrecorded and unaccounted for. This matter too, Madam Speaker, remains the subject of continuing audit and police investigation, while corrective action in respect of the management of arms and ammunition has been taken.
Dr. Rowley said some action has been taken to address the situation.
The corrective actions include a review of the firearms and ammunition policy published in April 2022, as well as the procurement and use of vehicles, firearms, and ammunition inventory checks at all SSA locations. Prior to that legal November 2023 authorization, the National Security Council of the government was not aware that the SSA possessed those levels of arms and ammunition.
Government's decision to go on the international market raised a U.S. $750 million bond, and this will help address Trinidad and Tobago's foreign exchange challenges. According to the Prime Minister, it was done via a virtual roadshow. The Ministry of Finance coordinated the event. Dr. Rowley said the country has a deficit budget, and this was the reasons for borrowing or deciding to borrow at this time. Dr. Rowley was at the time responding to Prime Minister's questions in Parliament on Wednesday. The question was posed by Point-of-Peer Member of Parliament, David Lee.
The $750 million bond was issued on the international market for budgetary support for fiscal 2024-2025. Monetary policy is a matter for the Minister of Finance, who would look at the country's circumstances and determine what funds are raised on the local market and what are raised on the international market.
Government's offer of temporary accommodation for children from Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines affected by Hurricane Beryl depends on the agreement of their relatives in Trinidad and Tobago to accommodate them. It was revealed there are no special policies regarding the offer, but the Ministry of National Security has been advised to accommodate these requests when they are made known. This was clarified by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley on Wednesday in Parliament. On Tuesday, Dr. Rowley revealed school-aged children from the devastated zones with family in Trinidad and Tobago will be allowed into the country, and they can stay for the duration of the July-August vacation with the consent of their relatives.
There is no specific measure to put in place except that the Minister of National Security has informed the Immigration Department that in the event that the offer is taken up by families to facilitate as far as they're able to. What the offer is, Madam Speaker, is if there are children in the zones of devastation who have relatives in Trinidad who are willing to accept children and look after them during the vacation period, that Trinidad and Tobago will gladly facilitate to bring some relief to those persons who have been so damaged by Beryl.
You are listening to news on Power 102 Digital to 7 o'clock. President of the Supermarkets Association, Rajiv Dipti, has announced his decision to resign from the post on July 31st this year. Dipti was appointed to the post in September 2018, marking nearly a 6-year tenure. During this time, he has overseen significant transformative changes at SATT, solidifying the organization's status as one of the nation's leading business sector organizations in industry matters and as a prominent voice in national issues. He's also spearheaded numerous initiatives, including charity and relief efforts, and has been a keynote speaker at many prominent forums. Mr. Dipti expressed his sincere gratitude to the members of SATT for their trust and confidence placed in his leadership, having been honored to lead such a dynamic and impactful group of dedicated professionals, he said. SAT will initiate the process to appoint a suitable successor during this period of transition and will be guided by an interim team in the period to ensure that an adequate replacement is forthcoming. Well, finally, here's weather news for the period today till midnight. Trinidad, mostly hot and sunny at first, with a likelihood of afternoon showers favoring western areas. There's also a low to medium chance of a heavier shower or thunderstorm. Tonight would be mostly fair and hazy. Gusty winds and street flooding can occur in the event of heavy downpours. A significant concentration of Saharan dust is present in the atmosphere, so persons sensitive to changes in air quality are being advised to take the necessary precautions. Tobago and the remainder of the Lesser Antilles mostly fair despite the odd shower in a few areas. Tonight would be mostly fair and hazy. Look out for a forecast maximum temperature of 33 degrees Celsius at Piarco International Airport and 32 degrees Celsius at Crown Point in Tobago. Currently, it is 28 degrees Celsius at both localities. Recapping your headlines to 7 o'clock, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley revealed 70,000 rounds of ammo brought by SSA unaccounted for. Government explains its decision on a U.S. $750 million bond that was raised to address foreign exchange challenges. The Prime Minister says T&T relatives of hurricane-affected children must consent to stay, and the president of the Supermarkets Association says he is stepping down. I'm Avril St-Hilbab. That was news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. Look out for more news in detail at 12 noon today and an update coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. For more details, log on to power102fm.com.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
Thank you so much, Amy. Did you all see that the camera stuck? The feed stuck? And Evie's mouth was all twisted. That's funny. Anyway, thank you, Evie, for your major news. You can join her again. It'll be 8 o'clock, top of the hour, for our news brief. Quickly, let's see what's happening on highways and the byways. It's the second to last day of school before it closes for the period. Valencia stretch is a bit of volume this morning, a bit congested. Usual, Trinity City, Maraval, you're not too bad. Diego Martin, you're not too bad. Leaving San Fernando, I got nothing to tell you about in San Fernando, but leaving south, passing Gasparilla, you got a little volume. Chase Village is a bit busy. But after that, it's pretty much clear until a little way down before you get to Caroni. A little way before you get to Caroni. All right? Right. Let's see if we have any more votes. We roll up here. Rolling. I did Pauline.
Karen, who is the photographer, Steve?
Yeparino.
Karen, if you do photography and digital marketing, I need to contact you. I have a project coming up. I need a good photographer and digital marketing.
David Ways.
But they need to be able to do digital marketing campaigns too.
Oh, okay. Richie Rich, I've got a yes from someone new. You didn't put a name to it. And then I have Roger Seawing saying no.
All right. Well, our poll this morning is, I can't remember the name of the poll, but what was the name of the poll?
The poll question was.
That's a short-term memory going again.
Yeah. I have it on my phone. The poll doesn't pull up. I'll read it off my phone.
Right. So
do you believe a cult was attempting to take over the SSA and political leadership of Trinidad and Tobago? That was our vote, a poll.
Right. So we had 38 people voting on the poll this morning. Of the 38 people, 25 of you said yes, and 13 of you said no. So the yeas have it for this morning. They do believe a cult, so by extension, they do believe what the Prime Minister said.
Yeah. JC just said no.
25 of you said yes, and 13 said no. That no will have to go to the rest of the poll. Moving on, as you can continue to vote on this poll throughout the day, throughout programming, and we'll give you, of course, the final result tomorrow, which will be Friday, because the weekend begins tonight, people, at the second half of midnight. Just reminding you, of course, the theater will be on next week, Sunday. Love is a Walk, the final show, Sunday, July 14th at 6:30 p.m. Of course, tickets are available at all outlets at this point, including the Napa box office, which opens from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily, K-Squared Fashions in West Mall and East Gates, and in Brentwood Mall in Chagonas. So all of those K-Squared locations have tickets. You can also get tickets at Electronics in Arima. I know some people went there early yesterday morning before the tickets actually arrived. So tickets are at Electronics in Arima, Jubilee Railway in Tunapuna, Charflair Auto Services, and Antoni's Florals in Valpark Shopping Plaza. So tickets are out for Love is a Walk, the final show next week, Sunday at Napa. You can also purchase tickets online. You can check RSRR Productions Theater on Facebook and social media handles, and you can see the process for buying your tickets online.
All right. Thank you so much.
Did you hear that piece of news in the newscast Beryl read?
Which one?
Ragoobarsingh?
No, what news is that?
Conspiracy theory mind went ping. Rajiv Dipti is resigning as head of the Supermarkets Association, and in the resignation, he listed his list of accomplishments. Do we see a political future there coming around?
Oh, definitely. We said that before.
I found it quite curious.
Things don't make you go.
I think Rajiv was still the president of the Supermarket Association.
Yeah, he is still.
Because I read an article where somebody else was also elected to the presidency. And I was confused.
Yeah.
Did you see that article too, Steve?
Yeah, I remember we spoke about it, and somebody said, no, it is a young lady that is now the head, but he says he's the head and he's stepping down now. So
that was confusing to me, that article. Yeah. So, I mean, it came out about a couple of months ago.
Yeah. Please note with those that are traveling to Jamaica, Norman Manley Airport is closed. So all Caribbean airline flights, I'm sure other carriers, flights are canceled for Jamaica routes, Port of Spain, Jamaica, JFK to New York, Florida, that kind of thing. So you'll have to check their websites at caribbean-airlines.com, Caribbean-flights-notifications. Right?
Let's congratulate Keyshawn Walcott, who has made the great trip to Paris. Forgot about that this morning.
Yeah.
Congratulations. This will be his 4th Olympics, I do believe. So he has 2. He's an Olympic gold and an Olympic bronze and a plethora of medals, Pan American Games, Youth Championship, CSC Games. So congratulations, Keyshawn Walcott.
I'm sure it's because it's on date night.
I'm really happy about that. So
yeah.
I didn't want to forget to congratulate the young man. He's heading to
a very clean house.
His 4th Olympic Games representing Trinidad and Tobago. So hopefully you bring him his 3rd Olympic medal, another gold, hopefully. So congratulations to him.
Oh, that'd be so good.
He's been training very, very quietly. Very focused young man. Yep.
Yeah. So
let's
congratulations. Yes. 222-8255. North Americans 866-525-1099. Of course, on the program tomorrow, Paul will be most present, I'm sure. Not. Gary Griffith will come on tomorrow morning. We'll talk about that a little bit. All right. So let's take some of your calls. And of course, our morning poll is going to stay up on our website and our mobile app until tomorrow morning when we give you the final results. All right. Now, of course, Wendell will join us. He's our correspondent in Toronto currently, so he'll join us tomorrow morning.
But I'm more than likely have a very late night in Parliament tonight anyhow. So.
You're doing that again today?
Yep. And tomorrow. All week this week.
And none next week? They closed after this week?
Well, they're on recess after this
recess. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ah, boy.
The phone lines are open. You can call now. Congratulations again to Keisha. I'm really proud of that young man. Doing very well.
Yeah.
I like how he just stays focused and not flashy and just does his work quietly, trains diligently, and the work is paying off. And unfortunately, the 4x100, is it 4x4, 4x100 men's relay didn't make it.
4x100.
4x100 didn't make it, unfortunately. Just edged out. Very good. You can call now. Yes, Kim. I pulled up her name. A female was elected president that we saw recently. So I'm surprised that Deputy is resigning when there seemed to have been an election for a new.
Well, let's call him.
Markets.
Well, let's take this call and then I'll call him. Good morning.
Steve, we can't hear another view of this whole situation. It's bound to be that Gary Griffith only have stomach, only already have belly, you know.
I know, I'm feeling with some doubles right now.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you.
Oh, Lord. Hello. I find people rushing the gun about charging. That's why the Prime Minister say matters are being investigated, and I'm quite sure charges can drop just now. I not hurry. I know they will come.
You is the DPP.
But apparently
you is the DPP, right? You know charges gonna drop. You is the DPP.
You know that.
You is the director of personnel.
And
polls.
And you are the deputy.
You are the director of personnel polls. The DPP.
And you are the deputy.
You understand? I find you ain't calling when Kizra was on yesterday though.
I find all I need to take those conversations off here.
I find you to mind your business.
I am, that's why I'm saying it.
You talking to people, nobody know champagne, you know. Right? Everybody stay quiet. And let you carry on.
So Steve is trying to get on to Rajiv Dipti to see if he will speak with us. He's always generally been accessible. He's always been accessible. Yeah.
I smell a political run in the future.
You mean he might join you on the independent bench?
That is not my remit to say one way or the other.
Okay. Or you're saying he's going to be chosen by one of the other parties?
I don't know about others interesting word used there.
Mm-hmm.
You mean one of the parties?
Well, one of the parties.
One of. I didn't get him. I'll try him again in 2 minutes.
Though.
Good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good
Bonjour.
morning. And good morning, Richard.
Good morning.
So, I missed you all the first part of your program.
You rarely miss things. Oh my goodness.
It
It's one of the best first hours we have had.
Lord.
I did not hear anything for the morning except
Like
now.
you was making the bread for Wendell.
I don't know. And we gave away a special gift to the third caller, so you missed that. Oh my God.
Yes, all of that.
You know, as you said that, Ragoobarsingh, somebody saw me and they said, you know, Ragoobarsingh just have all these plays, always talking about them, and he didn't give away a ticket on the Power Breakfast show.
And what? And what? Sorry?
And he don't even give away a ticket to the loyal viewers and listeners on the Power Breakfast show, not even a ticket. And he always pushing the shows and talking about the shows.
I can give away a ticket next week.
Thank you.
That's when everybody don't see it. I will see that second time, you know. So I heard this from the Prime Minister in the news last night, and I was like shocked to hear all of this took place. So is it that the SSA wasn't reporting to anybody?
Apparently not.
National security.
Maybe there's reporting what they want to report and not reporting what they don't want to report.
But then how come we have intelligence in this country and the intelligence, it wasn't intelligent enough to see all these things? Or even to hear some little rumor or something in that same organization, not even a rumor?
Well, the
irony is that this was the elite intelligence unit.
So they can't do no wrong.
That's we're not saying that. But that's the irony of the situation. That this was the elite, or certainly one of the elite intelligence units in the country.
So nobody can't even say anything. This is so shocking. So if let's assume that the Prime Minister didn't say a few months ago that this is something of national of significance, right? National security. If that didn't take place, probably we would have something different to be talking about now. We probably wouldn't even be calling in on the radio. This is so shocking, and I still feel there's somebody who dropped the ball somewhere. That is why all of this these things were able to take place. So, by the way, Paul is still have the number for the pastor, but he can't talk. How unfortunate. Because wasn't he charged for something?
I can't remember, you know.
Was he charged? You may be right, you know. You may be right. But it would be. But you are also right. That it would be an interesting conversation to have with him now, in terms of the what the Prime Minister would have revealed in Parliament yesterday. It would be interesting to have a conversation.
I'll make a call.
And see what he says.
But I still feel he want to not to speak, claiming as lawyers say don't talk, because all the time he was willing to talk, be in charge or not, he was willing to speak for everything. I want to find out if he gave all the different things what he said was going to happen. I so want Paul to talk to him. Right? Anyway, you all have a very good day. And
the envelopes and drop off for nothing.
I'll rewind this morning's program.
All right. Thanks, dear. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
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 I'm not trying to tell you what to do and instigate anything, but I think Zina came up with a wonderful idea. We can't get a different view on this thing. There's a guy they call Mr. Wayne Head. We can't get a different view with this. This to because you're going on here the same thing again, PNM and the security minister and the prime minister that and the prime minister this and a kind of vandit, a kind of a spiteful kind of. Don't be so disrespectful to Wendell already. You can't get a different view. Because you want to Mr. Wayne Head?
Well, I don't know. I hear you.
I'll try him. I can also try him.
I hear you, but this would have been the assertions made by the Prime Minister were in reference to things that would have happened under the remit of Gary Griffith.
But let me tell you something. Based on
he's relevant in that way.
Yes, I understand. But based on the amount of interviews we had with, he's going to say nothing else. That we want an independent view, a view from somebody.
But don't you think he should have a chance to respond?
Well, yes, but let me hear what somebody said first.
All right, we can do that after. Let's hear what Gary had to say, and then we'll do that next week.
All right, no problem, boy, because we need to hear a different view with this thing.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Okay, gentlemen.
Yeah, man. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Yeah, morning.
Yeah, first question is, I don't know, based on what the Prime Minister read in Parliament yesterday, I am wondering, was the SSA, it appears that the SSA was a law unto themselves.
Well, he said rogue elements, so yes.
Parliament is, what are the terms of reference of the SSA? Were there any red flags? What are the chains of command? Is SSA so independent that they are not accountable to anyone? Those are serious questions, and those revelations yesterday are really serious. I would really like to know the terms of reference of the SSA. Honestly. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Good morning.
Hello.
Hi.
Good morning.
Guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This thing with this SIC, it's mind-blowing. I cannot understand how they could have a unit under national security. So who would they report into? I mean, I must commend whoever it is in the SSA tipped off Dr. Rowley, because trust me, it was clear and present danger ahead. I mean, oh God, I don't know, boy, this thing, but let me tell you, I ain't surprised because based on what Pastor Wendell Yole interviewed Pastor Brown, I heard him on another station, and then the two men got killed in the Rio Claro forest, what their relatives said went down, I am convinced. I will say like how they say it on America Got Talent, 100 yeses to the poll. Oh my God. And another thing, I heard Miss Dabadi said when she went to Tobago, nobody searched her. There were no searches. And this is the next thing. All this drive-by shooting you're getting in Tobago, what all you expect when you could put up, you know how much guns could be going into Tobago in people's car trunk? Oh, I remember a friend told me they started searching, they had an army searching your car when you reach Scarborough and door going in your car. That like it was for a month and it stopped. We're not consistent. Good Lord, all you do expect the people with the guns carrying it up to Tobago? No, what country you could have a twin country? And you could I sure you can't come from Carriacou to Grenada and on a boat and nobody search you. Only in Trinidad and Tobago.
Remember, it's a domestic space, so yeah, it's operating on lesser levels of security.
But Richard, the Minister of Works and Transport told us that they had started searching vehicles on the boat because of the suspicion that guns were going across in people's cars.
Really?
So he told us that.
Said that?
Yep.
Well, they need to continue because I heard Miss Dabadi said it, and my son went up there in Easter, and I asked him, I said, did they search? He said, search what? I put on my car and reach Scarborough and take it off.
They're not being as diligent as they should be.
Oh, you're serious in this country, and when they have drive-by, they're surprised. 11 murders in Tobago. All your lucky is only 11. What madness! All you want to get caught with all your pants down like in 1990. Good Jesus, man, this thing's frightening, man.
But Kola, if people wanted to get guns from Trinidad and Tobago, there's nothing to prevent a casual boat moving going across to Tobago.
Oh, but the bulk, Richard, the bulk.
Because it's considered a domestic place.
Every day, the start going up. Oh God, man, all year. That's
just one way of checking, and I agree. Maybe they could be a little bit more robust with that. But on the other hand, people could go by normal, casual pirogues from Trinidad to Tobago because it's a domestic space.
Richard, we can't stop that, but the movement with that Tobago boat is mass transit, and I am saying all that shooting they get now in Tobago, all you look for that because they could have been. How you could just put up your car, you could have anything in your car, and all you air searching. Well, let them do search.
Well, I think my take on that is that that policing needs to be a little bit more intelligence driven. So if it's intelligence driven, you will know that certain gangs, I'm just speculating here, are starting to look at operationalizing in Tobago. And you would have gotten that intelligence and would have started to put things in place.
Long time. What they waiting on? A friend tell me she have a relative in the Beatam. When the police looking for me, he up the boat, gone up and he relaxing up there. But they just hold 2 guys in Grenada for murder. They killing some man in Point Fountain. They flying out. Look at the man shooting in Powder Magazine where they hold the guy, Piaco. Let me tell you, before you bring Gary to come and talk about who lie, who is idiot, who dotish, I think what that guy talk about getting in touch with Wayne Head, I think is somebody you could talk with. But and another thing, you should call Pastor Brown. I mean, he's the man who, look, we joke. I can imagine how the foreigners saying, them serious down in Trinidad and Tobago? Man.
The SSA was established in 1995 in accordance with Chapter 1506 of the laws of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and became operational on July 1st, 1996. The primary purpose of the SSA is to guide the formulation and implementation of national policies on illicit trafficking of dangerous drugs and related criminal activities. The main functions of the agency are outlined in Section 6.1 of the SSA Act and expanded by the SSA Amendment Act number 4, 2016, including 1, act as centralized office for information that could facilitate the detection and prevention of serious crime and for coordinating operations for the suppression of serious crimes and for cooperating with the services of the corresponding services of other countries. 2, develop strategic intelligence and make recommendations to government on formulation of policies in relation to serious crime. 3, prepare crime prevention strategies. 4, disseminate information and intelligence to services. 5, provide intelligence and analytical support to appropriate operations and intelligence arms of the services. 6, assist in identifying sophisticated criminal activity and those who engage in it. 7, help law enforcement efforts by identifying links between individuals and organizations involved in serious crime. 8, provide strategic intelligence. 9, identify new trends, patterns of criminal activity. 10, provide a nucleus of specialist intelligence personnel. And 11, establish channels of communication with the services and the corresponding services of other countries. Well, they didn't report on their own activities in the context of these objectives.
Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you guys?
Good morning.
We are good, Captain Ron. How are you?
Listen, I'm fine, thank you. Listen, that lady she made a very strong point, because I don't know if you remember a few years ago before the COVID in New York, they have that Staten Island ferry from Manhattan to Staten Island. One guy got on board with us with a gun in that Staten Island ferry, and he did a lot of damage, killed a few people. What is to stop someone getting on board, according to that lady, which makes a lot of sense? Get guns on board in a car and then start massacring people on the boat. I mean, it is not happening as yet in the Caribbean, like it's happening here in America. But think of what could happen in the future. And that's a very serious point. They need to start checking these things, because even if you're going from Piaco to Palm Point, you have to go through a security checkpoint. So why can't they go through a security checkpoint at the boat ports as well? She has a very, very valid point. You can't stop even guns coming in and pirogues or boats smuggling into Trinidad, also from smuggling going into Tobago outside of Piarco and the national port. So she has a very good point, and that's something people should take into account. The government needs to look into that. They really, really do. Because, I mean, in Trinidad or nowhere in the Caribbean, we have the lunatics like what we have up here in America. But what is to stop that if somebody decide with all those guns down there now, decide to just do that? You know, somebody needs to look into that.
All right.
All right, gentlemen.
Thank you.
As usual.
All the best to you. Good morning.
Steve, just before you, I think
yes, good morning.
Miss Ali, just a second, caller. I think Miss Ali sent the address in the messages, huh? So you could look at it.
Yeah, caller, go ahead.
Yeah.
Good morning. 1990, we heard about guns coming into our country illegally through the ports of Trinidad and Tobago. Now we're seeing weapons and ammunition was ordered legally into the country of Trinidad and Tobago. What the Prime Minister said yesterday in the lower house should be of concern to every citizen of this country. And I will wait until the police finish the investigation. And I hope this investigation will not be an investigation ongoing without end. Because if you could hear about 70,000 rounds of ammunition unaccounted for, where are those ammunition? If you could hear about the increase of high-powered weapons, 103, what these guns was ordered for. Is it that the SSA was a law unto their own self? Who was the one responsible for the SSA, and somebody have to give the SSA authority to bring in these guns and these ammunitions? 1990 was real. People lost their lives. I was a hostage in Parliament. But this to be another coup to overthrow an elected government, we have to ask questions. And I do hope that every 31 members of the upper house, senators, should demand answers. The 41 members of the lower house, this is not something to play politics with. This is talking about the safety of Trinidadians and Tobagonians. And if you all read chapter 12 of the commissioner's report, I see a lot of people don't read in this country. We had a commission set for 2 years concerning our attempted coup in this country. Chapter 11 and chapter 12 talk about the safety of Trinidadians and Tobagonians, the safety of citizens, the safety of properties. And if anybody's trying to overthrow elected government, they must have support also too, because if you follow how coup take place in different countries, there's that support of the army. Without having support of the army, it's a failed coup. Thank God in 1990, the army was on the side of the government and the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Are we going to allow our democracy, the way how we move up and down in this country, taken away from us? In 1990, they say it was a religious organization headed by the late Abu Bakr. Now you're hearing about a cult. And how this person get to work in the SSA. Something definitely wrong. I do hope and pray that we get to the root of this, and people have to be held accountable. Paul Richards is a senator. He's an independent senator. I do hope you raise questions, because you, as an independent senator for this country, Trinidad and Tobago, you have a say in getting to the root of this also. I will say no more for now.
All right. Thank you, Wendell.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. We focused on the SSA, but there was another thing that the Prime Minister spoke about that is equally alarming. These firearm dealers that bringing in tens of thousands of ammunition, and that is something we also need to speak about and be concerned about, because the firearm dealers can't bring in things as they see fit. Somebody has to authorize it, and I believe as the Commissioner of Police, they have to go to authorize bringing in this amount of ammunition. And one of the things that is concerned, one of the questions that I have, Paul, maybe you could ask this question for me. There is a firearm dealer that brought in an unusual amount of weapons, more weapons than I believe people have everywhere else for in the whole of Trinidad and Tobago. So is it that they were bringing in weapons for an organization? I know some of the protective services uses firearm dealers to import the weapons that they want. So this is something that needs clarification. Why did this firearm dealer have to bring in, I forget the amount that was called that the Prime Minister spoke about, this high number of weapons, and we don't have that amount of people getting FULs in Trinidad and Tobago. So the question begs, who were they bringing in these weapons for? Was it a security firm? Was it a private security organization? Was it a police service? Whoever it is, that's something I am curious to the answer about. And also the amount of ammunition, was it also for this security firm, or was it? There's a lot of questions that is spinning off of what the Prime Minister revealed there. Right? So thank you very much.
All righty. Thank you. Good morning, caller.
Good morning again. I see a caller asking if the Prime Minister breached the court order. What they think Parliament is a joke to go there and talk about the birds and the bees? Just like how we're discussing it now is because we want to hear what transpired in this country. And people feel that we heard it when we heard it. You think where that Prime Minister recalled that gentleman from abroad? You don't think that they were undercover working all the time, knowing what was taking place and all that? We heard it when we heard it because he recalled that soldier from abroad that was in the mission over there to come back here and to take over. So somebody was guarding the guards. So they take time, people, Mr. Manning used to say, information is not evidence. You have to wait for evidence before certain things are done. So people all cool it. And what I want to say about yesterday morning, Paul.
Yes, ma'am.
You said, how come we didn't say anything about the lady yesterday? I think she's a very good platform speaker, Jack. Very, very good. Very articulate. But she's not ready for that kind of politics we have in Trinidad and Tobago. And I'll tell you, Paul, said something that to me, I would not think it that way. You made a comment that Gary Griffith made inroads. Gary Griffith, from my point of view, and this is from my point of view, did not make inroads. You know why? He must have felt that he made inroads. But remember that the seats that they gave him to fight, they did not put a UNC candidate, and they told their UNC people to vote for the NTA. That's how he was able to amass those amount of votes in those marginal seats that they fought. So he didn't make any inroads. The UNC made a normal votes in those areas. That's how I look at it, because they did not set up anybody to contest those seats. So let people not be fooled. Nobody make no inroads. You understand? And as I say again, the lady is very articulate. She's a very good platform speaker and very educated. But she ain't ready for this Trinidad and Tobago yet politics. Nobody ain't taking she serious. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Zena. Good morning, caller. Oopsie. Sorry. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, caller.
Yes, gentlemen. Good morning.
Hi.
If these guns, if the private citizens of the country is not being issued ammunition, guns and ammunition, where exactly are these? We have an idea, but to what further extent are these weapons going? And military, where these things going? My concern is something have to be done to paralyze this movement, and to do that, it is not going to be taken lightly after putting out that kind of money to deal with that kind of issue. So it's not something you expect that somebody would just sit and let you bring it down. So what is the situation, with this? I just hope we are not locked on a collision course. And for the first time, well, not really the first time, but I listened to Wendell and what he's saying there is frightening, It's frightening. This situation, terrible. Because to make that kind of move, it is not going to be just left for somebody to just say, well, they're going to shut it down like that. People are going to react. What kind of reaction, we don't know. Let me hope for the best, gentlemen. May God protect us.
Thank you, buddy. All the best here. All right. 222-8255. Toll free North Americans. 866-525-1099. Thank you. All right. Hi, Bobby. I got your pictures via WhatsApp here. Okay. That address you gave is a kind of a strange address. I don't understand it too well, but I sent it across any which way. Yeah. All right. Let's grab these calls. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, big guy. What's happening?
I'm okay. I hope all you all are well. It's a beautiful day up here today. Beautiful day.
We barbecuing by you later?
Nah, about 2 hours down the road. That's by me.
Well, I come in by you and then we'll go across.
That's cool.
Storming.
Respect to the SSA, gentlemen. I'm a devil's advocate. I just read over some articles. I saw that 28 people were let go. I missed what Wendell said, because I heard the guy say it's frightening. I missed what he said, but anyhow, 28 people were let go. 3 were charged for transferring guns. Now, if there was I think I heard the Prime Minister say in the news article that it wasn't a plot, wasn't a coup, but it was to replace the government. It was by regular ballot box. There's nothing frightening about that. But if it's otherwise, you have intelligence that 28 people or whoever were involved in this, how come nobody has been charged for sedition, treason, or whatever? You must have some sort of intelligence to make a move like that. And if those people had that intention, or those people are outside in the street, okay, what is if they had an intention to do it violently? their mind hasn't changed, and they're all on the street walking around. So I'm just being a devil's advocate. So,
but those are all very good questions. If, in the Prime Minister's words, quote, a militarized operational unit infiltrated by a, quote, religious cult wanted to replace the country's political leadership, clearly not by democratic means. That speaks to a cult to me, a coup d'etat.
Correct. That's what I was trying to say. So
you understand?
Yeah. So let's just wait and hope nothing else happens.
The Prime Minister did not declare it was a coup attempt, but shared what he described as shocking information emanating from the audit of the SSA, including purchase of high-grade military bolt-action rifles, complete with modern silencers and other accessories, increased volume of ammunition, all in the police probe now, 70,000 rounds missing. So, I mean,
I
know how much more coup attempts she could get than that. I don't think if the implications of what the Prime Minister said and contained in the report, which we all have in our possession now, are that this militarized group, and also there's something also about nepotism, opportunism, preaching a doctrine of trained military and paramilitary personnel with a religious calling to be the most suitable to replace a country's political leadership. What that sounded like to you? Not 1990?
Yeah, correct. And they're all in the street now. They're all walking free. Okay.
I know who walking free and who walking free, but that is a very, very disturbing revelation.
Does it also indicate to you, Paul, that religion is dangerous?
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't it? When people talking to God, when they say God tell them to do X and Y.
And when this scientist is a quack and that scientist is a quack and this one said that and that one said the universe is 13.8 billion and then they realized it wasn't 13.8 billion. All science is bad because of that?
No, and science is
same thing.
Science has never proclaimed to be perfect. Science is always
and religion has never proclaimed to be perfect.
No, you can't compare the two, Paul. Science is based on proof, and when better proof comes,
because scientists make mistakes.
Both of you all talking the same time. I can't
scientists
stand
make
anything.
mistakes and do all kind of stupidness too.
Of course,
that don't mean all scientists bad. That don't mean all scientists bad. So if you have some religions that are not in line with what you think, that don't mean all religions bad. You're generalizing crazy.
Scientists also operate on if better proof comes around, we recalculate, and so they're not certain about anything. They're always about if better proof comes along. Religion is very certain,
Scientists talk all kind of stupidness too. All kind of
guy.
Scientists talk all kind of stupidness.
All righty.
We fail to quarrel. Let me quarrel, Steve. I'm to you.
Religion is very important. You always know.
Good morning.
Morning.
I remember Dr. Job saying when people tell you that God talking to them, run.
You remember Jim Jones? You can deal with murder in the church. You can.
Hundreds of people dead.
Yes.
Oh God, a whole 5 minutes to go again? Jeez.
You say you want to argue, go ahead. Floor is yours. I'm waiting for you all to argue.
They thought the universe was 13.8 billion years. All of a sudden, oh my God, the James Webb Telescope says we were wrong. We have to reevaluate what we thought about the universe.
That is such a simplistic way of looking at science.
And you have a simplistic way of looking at religion.
No, religion has, through the history of mankind, proven that it's onerous and can be evil.
Could be wrong anytime they feel to be wrong.
Okay, give me science.
Wherever.
It wasn't scientists collecting the arm.
Love is a walk. Talk about love is a walk. You know about that. Talk about love is a walk. You know about that. Talk about love is a walk. You know about that. You have 3 minutes to talk about love is a walk coming up next weekend.
The cult wasn't a group of scientists.
Love is a walk. Talk about love is a walk. Love is a walk. Talk about that.
Dealing with you too is a walk.
Love is a walk.
Pastor Brown,
love is a walk. Talk about that.
I remember in that interview with Pastor Brown, he said he kept referring and they are righteous men.
Yeah, and several
they are righteous men, and they want righteous men.
In every aspect of human life, in every single aspect of human life, there are people who walk the line and people who are corrupt. In every single aspect of human life, including scientists.
I'm just saying it would be good,
including scientists.
Oh, whatever you want, you can hate on science all you want. That's why you're on the internet now.
I acknowledge that in every aspect of science, religion and science,
the mic you're talking to come from science. The car you're going to drop it to come from science. The air conditioner you're going to turn on come from science. Don't stop me up.
Talk like love is a work. Love is a work. Love is a work. Talk about love is a work.
Yeah, but it will be interesting to get Pastor Brown's perspective of this entire situation. It will make for good media to hear what if he's willing to talk. And anyway, of course, Love is a Walk. It's on next week Sunday, and God knows you need to laugh in Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
You need to laugh.
God knows. You see, you're coming around. God knows. You know.
Yeah. So next week, Sunday, July.
Richard, put a pause, Richard. Put a pause. At the start of every play night, what do you all do?
It's a circle.
Doing what?
There's a prayer. The people pray.
You bring the scientists. You bring the scientists. I start every production. Okay.
But
you bring the scientists.
Positivity.
You bring the Einstein. You start every production.
I don't prevent people from praying.
Right.
So if you want to pray, pray.
Right.
I am never been a proponent.
Albert Einstein.
I am just saying I am not a proponent of don't pray.
To Albert
if
Einstein.
you want to pray and that is what you believe gets you through.
I don't see it talking
if prayer gets you through a very difficult planet, because this planet can be difficult and cruel and ugly. If prayer gets you through that power to you.
You're coming around.
If prayer gets people through that power to them, and I'm saying, so if people want to pray, go ahead and pray. But don't hold up that because you pray, you are right. That is what aggravates me. Love is a Walk, Sunday, July 14th at 6:30 p.m.
Penelope Spencer says, stop it. Stop it. Morning, Penny.
At Napa. And of course, tickets are on sale at Napa box office and all the usual outlets. You can check RSR Productions Theatre on social media, and you can get all of the information there. But tickets are on sale from Napa at Napa box office from 11 to 6 p.m. And tickets are also available at K-Squared Fashions, all the outlets, well, not all the outlets. The outlets in North, West Mall and East Gates, and in Central at Brentwood Mall and Chagonas. And Tony's Florals at Val Park Shopping Plaza, Sharpflair Auto Services by Gary Ash, Jabili Rawi in Tunapuna, Electronics in Arima. All of those places you can get tickets for Love is a Walk. The final show, Sunday the 14th of July, next week Sunday at 6:30.
Heavenly Albert Einstein, please protect Richard as he goes about his day today. You'll have a great day. Be safe.
Talk to you guys tomorrow morning. Have a good one. Let's get into our 8 o'clock news preview.
This is your news bulletin.